Nature-based solutions. We are here to talk about nature-based solutions. Everybody today is talking about a nature-based solution. It seems we have the way. We know where we have to go. But in reality, what does it mean, nature-based solution? What we are talking about? Are we talking about a biofuel? Are we talking about a new material? Are we talking about a new textile? Do we really understand how important could be this concept, nature-based solution? So let's start with this question. What does it mean? You'll see in this brief presentation there'll be a lot of questions, but we really need to answer, to understand what we are talking about. And I would like you to know that I've been for almost all my life looking for nature-based solutions. In this case, you see in the picture, I'm here in the middle, at the end of the 70s, almost 8 years old, working with the bees. On my right, you see my father. On the left side, it's Anita, the bee expert at that time. And we were on the hills in Tuscany. We're in a place called Aboca, where my father founded our family company in 1978 that has the only purpose of looking into nature to find healthcare solutions that could respect at the same time our organism and the environment. So what we do in concrete, we grow medicinal plants, we do extracts, we make extracts, and we try to understand how do they work. And we have been doing this for many, many years. And what we learn is that plants, animals, humans, they have all the same language. We share DNA, we share metabolic pathways, and I can summarize this concept with this word, physiological, which is how we describe the mechanism of action of our products. Physiologicals literally means the logos of physis. I mean, from the Greek, means the language of nature. And we said, but what is this language? Do we think we really know how nature works? And we started studying and understanding that the key point when we look, in this case, in concrete terms of, the extract of plants, for example, and we look at nature, the key point is its complexity, the complexity of nature. And we started to understand that there could be an advantage, talking about medicine, passing from the isolated molecule, you see here, that's an example, the morphine, to go back to the phytocomplex. You see here the poppy. We do not work with poppies, but it's just an example. And thanks to the most modern technology, so using technology like all the omics platform, system biology, system medicine, so matching technology with nature, we understood that the complexity of nature can be a key resource for matching the need of our organism, that at the same time is a complex organism. Have you ever thought about that? This is just a graphic representation of our metabolism. So here the point is we have the complexity of nature, the complexity of the organism, a technology that allows us to understand, to start understanding how the interface could work. And this is the key point of what we do. And the key lesson at this point is that we have to figure out that this connection is not just a similarity. It's much more. We have to understand that we live thanks to the billion of organisms that live in our gut. We could even say that we, as a human being, we do not exist as a singular being. We are an aggregation of energies, different energies. Here, the key point, the key word is symbiosis. So when we talk about interconnection, we are saying something much more important than what we normally think. And then when we say everything is interconnected, what does it mean? Again, another question. Because many times, we just say, in terms of just a generic understanding of that's fine, we are all together, that's fine, but it's something more. And we need a technical language, because this is going to be a big switch. Understanding relationship require a different approach, a different technical language. For that, and we discovered that thanks to the studies of Fritjof Capra, first of all, the so-called systemic view of life. What means being interconnected? I can try to summarize that in three main rules. First is that the whole has characteristics that do not derive from the sum of its individual parts. It's the concept of emerging properties. It means that through the relationship, something new will be created. And this is the point, this is the key point of the value of the complex system. Then how are those emerging properties generated? To understand it, we have to go back to the fact that everything in a living system, all living system, and also all social organizations are organized in network. Everything in life is network, and the network of a network, and network of a network. And how does a network work? A network is something which is created by processes. It's a relation between the parts. We could also say that the parts itself doesn't have a real value. They have a value just because they are interconnected. And what are the processes that are the most important one? It's not so difficult, but usually those things are not well known, are not taught in the school. And we need to teach, the new generation to understand the complexity. And then feedback, self-regulation, autopoiesis, or the other underlying patterns. We have to understand the underlying patterns that allow networks to remain in a state of a dynamic equilibrium, which is fantastic because it's also the mystery of life, It's the mystery of life, and then we understand at this point that everything, it's about relationships. Fine? Then, let's try to figure out, okay, what does it mean in concrete terms? I would say, what we have learned after so many years of searching for nature-based solution, understanding that we are maybe, facing something more important than we thought at the beginning. And I think that we can say this in two main points. First, interconnection between all living systems. We are all really interconnected. I mean, during the COVID era, I think we should have well understood this. But do you think we really understood? We changed it. I don't think so. But I mean, a virus, something that we could not even see, change it, the way we live. But we didn't understand how important is this concept. Interconnect, whatever we do to the environment, we do to us, whatever we do to animals, plants, whatever, we are just one, okay? The whole is us, let's say. And then, even more important maybe, if you look at that in the light of social organization, then we will see that there is an inseparable link between individual and common good. Again, during the COVID era, I cannot be healthy if you are not healthy. How do you think? Is that true or not? So it's not being an enlightened entrepreneur. No, it's just looking at reality. But if we look at reality, then we will understand that sustainability is not enough. Based on those concepts, we have to really make a revolution, which has to be, first of all, a scientific revolution, understanding complex system, and then it's a cultural revolution, where the relationship will really be the key point, and then we have to start changing the economic paradigm. This will change everything. Let's think about how we are, today. Today, we are in a world where the economy drives the ecology. What we are trying to do? Simply to adapt, let's say simply, to adapt nature to our socioeconomic system. We think that the socioeconomic system is unchangeable, and we try to change and adapt nature, which is illogic. Just think in terms of the etymology of the words. We have economy, which comes from oikos nomos. Nomos in Greek means rules, and oikos, let's translate it as our common households, okay? So we have the rules, and then we have ecology, where the word is made by logos, oikos. And logos means the raison d'être, no? The rationality, the base, why it exists, the base that inform the oikos. So it has no sense to have the nomos that would force the logos. We have to revert the paradigm. It is the ecology, the logos, that has to drive the nomos. And that's a good news, because it means that we have simply to change our socioeconomic system to adapt to the nature. That's good news, because the other way around, it's just impossible. So if we understand that, then we can go back to the first question. And understanding that nature-based solution is not really about finding a solution. It's about changing our way of thinking. It's not just finding one solution. We need to change the way we think. And then we will find all the solutions. That's the point. I will try to make some example. But if we change our mind, then it will be quite easy. Let's start. I'll do it quite quickly, but if we enter into the logic of nature, the logos of oikos, then we have to change the concept of growth. We will pass from a quantitative to qualitative growth. Again, fish of Capra. To do that, we have to change to have a broader concept of value. We will accept no more externalities. We will accept no more externalities. Broaden our concept of value. And again, and we can go further and further. Property, that's another important concept. We have to understand that we do not own anything. We do not own anything. We have to be the steward, the custodian of what we possess. We will pass it away, and that good will remain. So in an ancient Latin, we use this salva rerum substantia. Let's manage what we have, but salva rerum substantia. And so we will change the meaning of property. And then businesses, businesses, there is really a lot to say about it. Looking at businesses as a living system, not just as a machine to make profit. Understanding that it's not profit that creates values. It's the creation of value that creates profit. And going back to the business as a social organization, understanding that the purpose, it's an emergent properties that arise from the cultural relationship between all the members of the organization. And again, looking at business with the lens of the systemic view, we will change our way to manage and a lot of other things. But, I wrote an entire book about it, so if you want to know more, you have to buy it. And then from business to work, we cannot consider work anymore just selling our time for a salary. We have to understand that this is part of the meaning, of our life, of your life, and work with change, again, as the business one. And then technology, and today the AI, the new frontier. What is this AI? We have to ask ourselves. There is something I cannot really understand well. Think about the paradox that the biggest advantage of AI would be that we could talk with a natural language, to an artificial being. There is something, there is a trick somewhere. I don't know where. Let's the question open. Okay. And then from AI to education, we need to change our education system to adapt to what we have seen. No more specialistic teaching, a multidisciplinary systemic approach. We need that, and we need also to focus not only on technical competences, we have also to focus on moral, let's say, capabilities. Have you heard about inner development goals? In order to reach SDGs, we need to change ourselves. And we need to work on a different way of thinking, again, inner development goals. And health, well, now I think health is quite clear. The only concept we can have. One health. The health of humans, plants, animals is interconnected. As said Pope Francis, we cannot be healthy in a sick planet. And then freedom, that's another interesting point. What is freedom? I will look at freedom. Is freedom as independence or interdependence? We need to go beyond this trade-off. It's a freedom from others, against others, to protect our space, or is the freedom that emerges from the relationships based on equality and fraternity? What kind of a freedom we are looking for? So I hope I gave you the idea of what means a new way of thinking, just because I want to tell you that the new way of thinking will not be enough, because we will change also our feeling. In order to do and to change the world, because we are talking about that, we have to change our feeling. We now live in an era of fear and darkness. We don't see the future. And I think it's correct, because how could see a future if we want to change nature to adapt? It's impossible. But if we understand that we just have to completely change our socioeconomic system, then we will get back to the fact that we are part of the whole, and feeling the interconnection and having trust in the future. Then at this point, really with joy, we can work all together for a better future. Thank you very much.